Okay, time for yet another video. It hasn't been that long since I did the first one. It is the 24th day of May 2019. And I'm going to go over some stuff I didn't go over in the last one. Thus, I'm not even going to show Bitcoin in here unless something strange happens in the next 10, 20 minutes because I already did that. Bitcoin dominance, however. Man, I put those fib lines. All I'm saying is, you know what? It'd probably damn near cool if this thing does resist and leaves this. It's already had a couple tests of this Fibonacci support, once with a large pierce below, once with a microscopic pierce below, which was a higher low. Matching high in this area, but if it leaves in here, I'd really like to see it have a move, maybe pierce below the 56.17 handle on here, and thus maybe we could see a lot of coins like Litecoin doing its thing. I'm sure most of you not only are aware of this, but are more aware of how this works than I am. The Litecoin halving, and if you're not, well, much like Bitcoin, from time to time, Litecoin goes through a fixed process called halving that reduces the rewards miners get for mining a block, which in turn reduces its rate of issuance. Every time 840,000 Litecoin blocks are mined, the coin reward is cut in half. This is to be coming up in a few months, several weeks from now, apparently, later on in 2019. And apparently, this is all coming on the back of the expected halving, and its mining rewards will occur in August 2019. Litecoin has programmed its mining rewards every 4 years or after every 840,000 blocks, whichever comes first. So, even more to that. And now let's move on to Litecoin. I'm not going to show its cross against Bitcoin because I did that in the previous video, but I didn't show this one, which is Litecoin's cross against the US fiat, which, well, let's go to a lot of the things that I said. Now, thankfully, and it wasn't for that large of an amount, but it still meant something. On the original rally up, because JSNIP4 said he was selling all of his Litecoin and that he thought it was still going to go lower. I'm thinking I really can't sell much, and I'm glad I did. That's what I call a short sale, holding Litecoin more back. So let's just assume I was going to sell 10 and I only sell 3 or 4. That's what I call a short sale. And pretty much on that ratio, it might have been even 2.5. It was low. Definitely well less than half of what I was normally going to sell on the way up. I did, which is cool. Now, in this level here, this was the rare pierce below of resistance. It is against the dollar, however, but still. Usually these Fibonacci lines pierce extra, and it was a definite monstrous time correction. And then a large break above. Now, this is where I was most certainly very wrong. I don't think there's going to be much resistance in at about the 100 ish or so area. Well, yeah, okay, 100 right here. Hits it here. A couple days later, hits it for a couple days. Big pullback. And then it pierces above it, May 15, 16 area. A little bit of a pullback. And now we're at again. Oh, that was major resistance. Yeah, so be it. The market's going to do what it's going to do. Just because I was wrong with that doesn't mean I'm going to lose on my bet, for I didn't really make any type of yes no kind of bet for that to be the case. All right, then. So, 126.506 is that next level. That's not too far off from here. It's a little over 26%. And in viewing this on the weekly term time frame, okay, so when you have a situation where you go from point A low to point B high and realize that in order for that to be the case, it's got to hold the 18 average of lows and stay above it for the entire time. Oh, there can be moments where it has glimpse of it, but you never even establish stage two. The most you ever do a reversal of trend is stage one band flattening out. That's all you ever do. You never do stage two, basically. Whereas in here, stage two was happening in June of last year. As we can see, the band was flattening out in here. And even you can say in here, it was looking, okay, this is where the move is over. But still, you go from this low to this high. Well, you have to expect when it's a monstrous move that you're going to have a a good break of some sort below the lows, and that's exactly what happened. It had that monstrous break, and it makes it so much easier looking at this on log scale. Let me put this on linear just to see if it looks any different. See, I can see the Fibonacci, the percentage retracements. I can see what percentage move, which makes it better for a lot of these coins on TradingView against the dollar because they're pretty much all going to have proper logarithmic scalings, where a lot of the ones in the Fibonacci scale are not going to do it. But it is what it is. But I do see here that it had a several decent period below it. Okay, so now you have point A low, point B high, point C correction, point D retracement from the point B high. That's where we're standing right now. And that will remain the case until, of course, we have a breakdown below 24 or a breakout above 364. So a really tight range? No, the opposite of that. That is an aggressive range within it. But within those aggressive numbers, breaking down below this, it could be way lower. Breaking above here, yeah, way higher. We're talking well into the 4 digits is what I would be presuming on a break above it. So higher volatility than Bitcoin, most certainly. I've talked most recently a lot, and I did a lot in 2017 back in the highs as well, about those fees. Those damn fees were just so high. Well, Litecoin doesn't have those. So I'm going to be interested moving forward. I'm going to keep on holding it and trading it and hoping that I have a good number if those 4 digit numbers come into play. But after coming back down to the 18 average of highs and seeing green candle breakout, green candle follow through, this week's move is most certainly an impressive follow through. It still has the opportunity for this to even hit 126 this week. For today's day is Friday. We still got the rest of the day. We got all of Saturday, all of Sunday, or that of about a little under 60 hours to go until the end of the week. Getting to 126 is going to be one of those now what situations. And I'm going to put another Fibonacci line in the middle of this because how I'm calculating it is I'm taking this high, which comes in at $370.66. I'm going to get my Fibonacci calculator up. And I'm just going to put the number in cents format. And we have a low of $22.27. I'm looking for the 76.4% number. But while we're at it, notice the up target. Now the 38.2 and 61.8 should match. 63.62 and 126.50. Close enough. 126.61 in that ballpark area. And 65.20 and 63. Well, even Pierce Wellmore below it now. Let me make sure my numbers are right. 22.27. Yep, 370. Yeah, let's just keep it as it is. But anyway, so the two numbers, and when you're in that small amount of a difference, it's all about the same. 76.4. $190.88. That's the level I'd be expecting for it to go to. If it's going to have any type of quick break above 126. It's the on my way level of next resistance to its previous high. So the next, okay, 2, 3, 4 of the next 5 key levels of the resistance and the next 3 levels of resistance are 126.5 area. And then it pierced below 200. That's the second next one. The third next one is previous high, which is in that of, again, $370. I guess the best way of putting it is the second next one after that, I'm going to have to say there's going to be more in between, is $2,107.23. So you don't have to really care too much about those last few numbers. Just noticeably above 2,000 is the best way of putting it. Noticeably barely above 2,000. And thus, so from the way from 370 to 2100, that's the next level. But you could probably expect some levels of resistance at about 800, 900, 1200 ish or so on the way before you get to 2107. But let's just talk about winning the lottery kind of odd situations. Oh, what happens hypothetically speaking if this goes hog wild and then some? Because cryptocurrencies can do that. Okay, so let's just assume it's like this weekend and it's Saturday, it's Sunday, and it goes up to $132.55. Oh man, this is where I'd like to say save. This is where normally I would save a file on a computer, draw on it, then leave it, not save it, because I'm going to want to draw on here. So let me bring up another Litecoin market so I can do that. And one by one, I'll insert the key Fibonacci numbers on this. And what if we have one of those OMG situations? And if it happens, it happens, and it's great. It's fantastic, although it'd be more fantastic if it happens in a span of maybe a year and change. But let's just go over because it's good to know. This is how I presume situations when it goes extremely crazy. So maybe it works out that we come up to this level of resistance in here. So now we go into the new week, and it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. I'm going to be looking for it to hold in this little area. I mean, definitely on the must hold. I mean, you're talking 61.8% down. Definitely for now, 38.2%. Let's see it hold this congestion area in the 70s, 80s if we're going to go to 126, all that kind of stuff. But let's assume that over the span of a, say, sort of like Bitcoin's been doing, let's say it does this over a span of 14, 18, 20 days. And then it gets up to that point. Because if it doesn't find resistance there, then the next move is that 190 number. But let's assume in a weird situation that some sort of news comes out that's so bullish, some events happen that just really sparks it to the point that over 4 days, over 3 days even, it goes from 190 to 370. So therefore, if you're in a situation where you get to this point so fast, I'm going to be saying this is the one that I do not like because you had the big high, a big correction, and then a fast move to where you came from. What are we going to do now? Oh, bullishly, maybe we just go sideways and maybe it only goes down to 187 or 200 and all that stuff. And maybe it might even establish some short-term resistance at 500 and support it at 300 or 285. Those are things that can happen as far as a sideways correction. And maybe we have some support, 38.2%. Maybe it comes back down to like 150 or even 100 for that matter. And then it goes back up. But in the situation that I talk about where it doesn't, and you have a fast move, if an event like this were to continue, or to look something like this, where you have this move and then the extremely fast move to bring it up, if you don't find resistance there, a move from here to here could literally happen in a month. 4 periods. It could happen in 22 days. And is it possible it happens in 2 days? Or 18 hours where at 1 o'clock, Bitcoin hits $370. At 4 o'clock, it's at 600. And then at 8 o'clock, it's still at 600. At 1 o'clock, it's at 1100. At 6 o'clock, it's at 1450. And then 5 hours, 8 hours later, it's at 22. I mean, I'm not expecting that. But I do know that when markets get out of hand, they get out of hand. So what I'm going to be hoping for is that, oh, it works its way and grinds it, but I mean, I don't really have any control at all. Well, nothing of any note. And really, I have as much control on like the Litecoin market as like a couple of bees' nest does on the whole bee market globally kind of deal. I mean, I have a small sample amount, and I trade a very small amount of time compared to, well, I mean, I don't know about that, but compared to other people who trade the market. So I'm a very tiny, microscopic player amongst this game. And that's the way I like it. As I realize that it's a high amount of I like more people in it. It's got good volume. And one of the things that I was thinking about yesterday was just looking around some city streets around the city. It was a small one, but okay. Let's see if I can find any type of signs or hear anything about Bitcoin or cryptos. And not, no, nope. The adoption, the early stages to me are in place. So take a look at the streets. Take a look at the pictures, the photos. Take thousands and thousands of photos. And then take that exact same area in 6 years from now. Maybe even 2 or 3. Do we see any of these Bitcoin and Litecoin signs hanging around anywhere? One thing I was thinking of, I heard that the search for Bitcoin has been progressively going higher. I think I could be able to find out how I can find its graphs. Let me see. And for the Google search of Bitcoin, I don't know what those lines going down says. It says values for this point of partial incomplete data available. But we've had a Bitcoin rise in May in here. As far as its search over the past, do I have a log scale? Don't tell me this is December of 2017, its top. Yeah, or, okay, let's see. Do I have past 5 years would be better. So, yeah, desktops. Man, this is just fidgy. Trying to get my mouse right up to this point. I don't think it's going to let me. There we go. December 17th to December 23rd. And this is where you need a log scale, because then it could look a little bit better. Because I'd like to, but it's just real. I mean, it has a little bit here in November, but it really just didn't break this until this May run. This is a brand new thing, really. This has just broken this level of resistance here at 75. Okay, we just try Litecoin in. And it seems Litecoin gives me the exact same data, not to a degree. Got up to 75 here. This is the past 12 months, and I mean, this is probably going to look exactly the same as Bitcoin's pretty much did. Well, it's definitely the early adoption phase for this correctionary cycle anyway. But it is a bullish reversal switch over downtrend and searches. Then it goes up in here. Okay, now we're holding this level of support, which was this resistance here. Now we're breaking out again. I don't want to put too much into this. This is long enough already. Let's quickly go over a bunch of other charts. GRS, this is one. Whenever it has big moves, it's ready to go. I'm not trying to predict it. If you're like, okay, you're waiting in here, you're waiting in here. Oh, it happened. Oh, it happened. You know what? When it does, if it goes up to this 98 and does stuff like that, that would be cool. But I'll just react to it if it does, and if it doesn't, I won't. I'll react to it for it not doing it, I guess. Coins like Florin, I mean, they're just volatile. And it's just hanging in there right now. Nothing too fantastic, but hey, it had this move in here, and then it went down, and then it went up, then it went down. And I think it's going to have a big move up or down next. AidCoin is breaking down right now. It's at this level of previous support. Okay, well, if it goes any further and it's now been there really for a few days, it kind of came down here in this low, resisted this high, back down again. So where do we go next? Like maybe 500s in the area? That's back down to its major lows, but markets go up, markets go down. After going down in here, it went up, down. You know what? That was a significant rise higher from January, mid-January to the end of March. So now from the end of March, it's been 2 months. Maybe it'll be another 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And then maybe we'll have a 2 week, 4 week, 8 week run higher. Or maybe it'll just be like 2 days like this or whatever. Maybe we'll get back in 2 days and give it all back. Either way, I'll just be ready to trade for what I need to. And let's finish this off by this. I'm not going to probably put any charts up. I'm just going to take a look at some of the movers. And well, VTX is down 30%. But that was just recently added 2 days ago, 3 days ago. To give down 40%. Are we delisting this baby? It's only got 0.32 volume, but yeah, it's being removed on today. It's being removed today, so this is the last day stuff, I guess, is what that happens. I've never really seen what happens on the last day on here because, well, after this, you had no choice but to send it on the blockchain. You only have a period of time to do that, probably as well. So GeoCoin is down 20%, probably in that same area. And there's no much volume in there because everyone's taking their orders out. What good are they going to be in so many hours from now? Cannabis Coin, 20 Satoshi. Oh, Webson, remember that? That just came out 17 days ago. I've never even heard of it. But after that, there's not too much down. The lowest of the top losers is 7.9%. If we look at the gainers, 92.3% for eBoost. Smartlands up 72.7, Sequence up 40, Swarm City Token up 23. So a lot of the bigger gainers in here. The bottom one is 9.8% up on the gold coin. So we have decent gains. Now in here, this is just, a lot of this might be small breakouts, getting back some of its losses that it had before. But when I'm looking at coins, I think I might have looked at this a little bit. Stuff like CashBet. Okay, well, it's obviously probably a casino chip for something. Oh, but it's being removed. Now, interestingly, this is going up when today is the last day. So it would have been announced here that it's been removed. So something tells me that there's still people want it. This is the last chance for them to buy it on Bittrex, and that's what's being taken place in here. It's not that much lower now from where it broke down from because it looks to me as if this was the announcement date of it being canceled May the 9th. That it'll be canceled on the 24th. And this little bounce in here, selling. I find that interesting. So I'm going to finish this off by going to CoinMarketCap and taking a look at this coin. And if I look at its complete chart in here, and what I like to do sometimes is just go shorter to shorter. So we'll actually go to all first. So all, it's been in nothing. I mean, this has been in a downtrend since June of last year. This thing was way, way higher, and it just went straight down, 4,900 Satoshi. And then you go to year to date, or go to 1 year. That's basically within the year to date. So there was I guess you can. There's the Binance delisting, and down it goes. And then we'll go 3 months. Pretty much the same. But, I mean, this is like a double bottom breakout pattern. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. So people are trying to keep this thing alive, I guess. So now I need to know, where is this being traded on? KuCoin is where this will be its move. So if you, let's just see what the prices are in here. I like to put this into Bitcoin prices. So I can see that it's trading at 101 Satoshi on the CBC Bitcoin exchange at 97 right now on Bittrex. So whether you like it or not, KuCoin, how big are they? They trade at 4,000 Bitcoin a day. I've never been on them, and I'm not planning on it either. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.